The Penguin episode 7 came out. This is the second to last episode. And for me, this was probably my least favorite episode of the season. There's a couple decisions that I just really didn't like and really didn't understand. And I don't know if these things are based off the comics or they were just decisions that were made in the writer's room or what, but they just did not work for me. They do something with the Penguin's background that I feel like makes him way less likable. And then they also have a really big contrivance kind of during one of the climactic parts that I don't think was necessary at all. And it doesn't really add anything. It just kind of makes the climax of this episode worse. So let's just get into it. So one of the things that I kind of liked at first but didn't really like overall was the opening scene. We go back to Penguin as a kid and we see him with his brothers. And that's fine. You see there's a gangster he looks up to. You can see how close he is to his family and his mom. But then him and his brothers go play flashlight tag in the sewers. They climb down a ladder and he gets pissed off because he can't climb down it. So he shuts the door and he's like, good luck getting out. It ends up storming that night and they drown. So this was a decision that I really did not like because the Penguin is already, I think, in a pretty gray area for your protagonist. He's very clearly not a good guy. He's very scummy. But because he's doing it to bad people and he's the underdog, they make it work. And it's almost charming or kind of endearing in a weird way. And this is very clearly an accident. It's not like it's malicious, but I think it really makes it hard to root for him when you see him kill his own brothers because he was frustrated at his foot. And then he lies to his mom about where they're at. So she doesn't even go look for them or help them. And this is what leads to their death. It works in the sense that we get why he's so close to his mom and this kind of guilt that he probably feels for what happened and the dynamic between those two being kind of weird. But in this show, everyone's kind of a scumbag. And up to this point, they've done a good job of making sure that even the bad characters have a moral compass that allows you to root for them in some capacity. And I feel like this backstory just really undermines that for him. Even Sophia, when she killed the whole family, explicitly didn't kill the little girl. So we cut to the present. Oz finds Victor knocked out with blood on him. Victor's like, oh, it was Sophia. She took your mom. Oz tells him to run because he knows that he's about to get taken. So even this, it's good that he's looking out for Victor here. He doesn't want to get him killed. Even now, after he lost his mom, he's protecting him. So to me, it just feels weird that we got like this 10-minute scene dedicated to him killing his brothers to start the episode. So Sal comes to get him and he's roughing him up, but he can't kill him. And Sophia's telling him to restrain himself because they want his operation. So not only do they want to kill him, they want to take all of his shit first. Very practical and just logical in the situation, which is nice. That they're not being super overly emotional and just murdering him, knowing that they would never find the operation without him. Sophia has Oz's mom, and Oz's mom, Frances, is kind of taunting Sophia. She calls her an easy mark. She's not really scared of her. And she's like, you gonna kill me or what? And Sophia says, it depends on what your son does. So even now, Sophia seems pretty disinclined to hurt someone unless she has to. And I like this scene because Sophia doesn't freak out or get flustered. She just starts talking shit to Frances. And she's like, spews all his bullshit about his childhood. But none of those things make you a monster. Clearly the implication being that his mom is the one who made him the way that he is. And that's been pretty evident throughout the show, without the flashback, without anything, just from their interactions and the way that she talks to him and the way that, she gets pissed off at him and tells him to toughen up and just the whole mentality that she raised him with. And I like the show is subtle enough to get that across without ever just coming out and saying it. We just see it. And both actresses do great here. I love Frances talking shit to Sophia about how Oswald's going to shoot her. And then she says that she's going to dance on her grave. They're both just crazy as fuck. Sophia starts talking shit to Frances about her other sons. And it kind of sends her into an episode. And she's like freaking the fuck out here in the rain. And why aren't they looking for her sons? But then she kind of comes back too and tells Sophia to get the fuck away from her. And you can see Sophia actually looks concerned when she's having this breakdown. Like she kind of doesn't know what she's dealing with. And it really catches her off guard. Simpy Sal Volcano comes in. He's like the hospital in charge of Gia, who's the little girl that Sophia let live, wants to talk to the police. And essentially she realizes that Sophia killed them all and wants justice. Sal and his goons roll into the lab where they create the Bliss with Oz as a hostage. He says, you all work for us now. And they kill a couple of the bodyguards who try to draw on him. And I do like this because even now, Oz is trying to talk his way out of it. And he's like, why would you bother splitting this with Sophia? She can't offer you anything. Just take it all for yourself. Even now, when they've literally got him at gunpoint, they're taking his shit. He's trying to weasel his way out. Penguin signals one of his guys. His electrician guy that we saw last episode pulls some cords, creates a really chaotic situation, so they start kind of brawling. Oz runs from Sal, who has a gun, into this little like bus thing. And this is probably my least favorite part of the episode. Because their fight, I think it works fine because Oz is so much younger than Sal. But Oz is also a cripple, so he wouldn't just beat the shit out of him. So it's a pretty even fight. And it gets to the point where Sal's kind of just wailing on him. And then he just has a heart attack and falls back.
But, well, there it is.
And Oz talks shit and then shoots his dead body a bunch. Or dying body a bunch. I don't know, I just thought this was so lame. Really contrived. This just didn't work for me at all. I think it would have made a lot more sense, both just for convenience and his character, to just be resourceful, be dirty. You know, do the thing they always do in movies where he just has his hand out looking for something and finds something and hits him in the head once and knocks him off balance or whatever. I don't think you need to resort to him having a heart attack for Oz to win here. So this is probably my least favorite part of the whole season, honestly, which is a shame because it's been built up, obviously, since the beginning, the ongoing fight between these two. Sophia visits Gia. Gia says that she saw a mask, and Sophia does the whole, how could you think I would do something like that routine, and just straight up lies to her, says it was an accident, and that she loved the family. Nothing too surprising here. And it's interesting because she says that she loves them, but then as she's talking to her, and she sees that she's self-harming, she's like, you know, it's confusing and hard to hear. Pretty much the whole family was bad people and they deserved what happened. A little bit of a mask slipping there moment. And it's interesting because as she's talking to her, she's like, when you get out of here, you can go to a new family and your life will be better with them than it ever would have been with ours. So even here, she has the self-awareness not to bring this girl into that lifestyle, that she's not really fit to raise a kid.
I can fix her. It's okay.
Again, they show all the characters being moral, even though they're scummy people. So I don't know, maybe it's just me overreacting, but that opening scene with Penguin killing his brothers just really put a damper on his character for me. Sophia's upset for being in the hospital and seeing G like that, and gets a call from Sal's phone, and obviously it's Oz saying that he's dead. And he offers to trade her everything for his mom. Now obviously we assume he's lying because he's done it multiple times this season, but that's what he's offering her, at least on the surface. Sophia goes to the simp doctor who's been dealing with Oz's mom, and says that she accepted the deal from Oz. She knows it's a trap, doesn't care. So Sophia shows up. Oz has his men all armed up. They got guns, they're hiding. The obvious trap is in place. So she does a pretty obvious counter to the pretty obvious trap. Has one guy move the car in to where they're going to lock the doors behind him, get out and run, and then she has a bomb in the back seat.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I don't know why she bothered hinting at this, because obviously she gave him just enough time to get away. Kind of another bullshit contrivance for him to survive, unless you really want to be super charitable and say that she wants to kill him herself in person and watch him die. But there's not really a reason for her to give him a hint. If she had just stalled on the phone or not said anything, he would have fucking blown up. I mean, he almost is blown up anyway. So another kind of thing that I'm not really a huge fan of, although I do like the general idea of her countering the obvious trap. And we see Oz go down what looks like the same ladder that he refused to go down with his brothers for flashlight tag. And obviously this is what saves him. And you see this whole huge intersection blown up. And at this point, it is a bit weird that Batman's not even being mentioned. I guess it kind of is what it is at this point. We get another flashback, and this is the mom coming out for the first time in a while when they go dancing together, which has been referenced multiple times this season. Not really sure if it was necessary to see it, but there it is. And all we really get from this scene is the mom putting all kinds of pressure on Oswald to provide for her and make her happy. Again, that's something that's been alluded to the whole season. Not really sure if it was necessary to see it. Now it's very clear cut. Oz survives and climbs up the ladder and back to the surface. And something else that was a little bit funny in a dark way is when he saw the bomb, he didn't warn anybody else. He literally just took off and ran and looked out for himself. Very in character. After the call, we see Sophia, Francis, and Dr. Simp. And they're like, you can come find us if you get out of there. And then the inspector guy that we saw way back earlier in the season sees Oz, says Sophia wants you, and knocks him out.
Gotcha, bitch.
So now we've got 2 episodes in a row that end with Oz pretty much being fucked. And that's it for this one. Obviously, this was not my favorite episode, which is kind of a bummer because this is really where you want to see some payoffs when you're in episode 7 out of 8. It's not like it ruins the show or anything. It just wasn't my favorite. Hopefully next week will be better and we'll end on a strong finale. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Try to respond to the comments that aren't just insults. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.